What's up, guys? Fears. Audience. Fears. What's up? Check out my shirt. Naughty. Nice. Whatever. That's right. Whatevs. I'm having a better day today. Yesterday was a complete mind fuck. It was mind numbing yesterday. It was mind numbing. I'm going to get into all those details. Oh my God, guys. If you saw my last stream, I was not happy. You saw my last stream, I was not happy whatsoever. It was bad. It was bad. But I'll tell you all that in just a minute. Yesterday. So anyway, today's topics are I'm going to talk about why compressor broke. Yes, compressor broke, and it was a fucking bitch to fix. And then I want to talk about some Christmas traditions, and then do some updates. And I just wanted to say hi to you guys, because I hadn't talked to you guys, because I've been without a computer for 2 days. Oh, no, wait, a day and a half. I'm sorry, a day and a half. So, I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys are all doing great. I talked to my mom recently. My mom's doing all right. You know, she's hanging in there. The thing about my mom is a very strong, wonderful, positive, upbeat woman. And, you know, she's taken my dad's death, you know, as best she can. As best she can. Me the same way. As long as I stay busy, I'm fine. But then, you know, on those times when I'm not staying busy, that's when it's kind of hard. Work's going good. Fierce has got all of his Christmas presents wrapped. Unless I buy another thing for the Christmas unboxing, which I probably am going to. I have not put in my order yet for exhumvisions.com. That must be part of the Christmas unboxing. So yeah. Yo, Pixel L Protocol. What is up, buddy? Pixel, I have to ask you a question before we get into the stream. I was checking out your Instagram. I know you went to a wrestling convention recently. I guess he's your friend. There's a guy standing next to you, and he's painted his face like white and black. And I think you did too, or you were wearing a mask or something. I just want to know what wrestler paints his face white and black. I'm just curious, because Fears only likes certain wrestlers, and I'm not familiar. I know the only guy, he used to be on WCW, and I forgot his name. He used to wear white and black makeup, but then he went from WCW to WWE, and I forgot his name. Donson? Hopefully I said his name right. Donson is the guy's name. Yeah, I had a mask. Oh, he had a mask on his face. It looked like he painted it. So yeah. He was on the Conan podcast. I don't know who Conan is. Oh wait, Conan. Oh, you mean like from the Conan show? He was on that? Oh, damn. Wow. His character is kind of like if Conan was possessed by a demon. Oh, shit. But who's that other guy? Who's that other guy from WCW that wore a black trench coat and he wore black makeup and white makeup? I forgot his name, because he's an old wrestler. He eventually went to WWE, but I cannot remember. I don't think he wrestles anymore. I think he's retired. But what the hell is his name? It's not Smoke. It's Dan Housen. Dan Housen is how you say it, like Simpson. Okay. Who's that other guy from WCW? I can picture. He had long flowing hair to about here, black trench coat, white and black makeup. Kind of reminded me of like the Crow. Sting. That's it. Sting. But he didn't go to WWE for a long time. He still wrestles, believe it or not. Really? Oh, shit. Wow. I didn't know that. That's pretty impressive. Well, for the 60s. Well, let's put it out there. Hulk Hogan still wrestles, and he's past his 60s. He's like, what? Hulk Hogan's like 70 something. All right, so listen to this. Listen to this, guys. So, here's why Compressor broke. So, I'm editing, and I'm editing. It was not my fault. The Geek Squad said it was not my fault. What's up, Richie? He said this happens all the time. He said this happens all the time with programs. Yo, Pretend Stories, what's up? Hogan hasn't wrestled in like 8 years. I thought he still did wrestle. Oh, well, no, he doesn't wrestle. He still makes public appearances, Pixel, not if you come to visit. When you come to visit Fears in Florida, you better get your ass down here at some point. I'm going to take you to the Hogan's Beach Shop where me and Randy went. Dude, so much cool shit there. I bought 2 t-shirts. I bought a bandana that said Hulkamaniac on it. Pretty awesome shit. Anyway, so here's what happened. It's nothing that I did. And apparently, like, I asked Pixel and I asked Visions and I asked Mercenary Man and Randall. Visions, and Pixel were very helpful. Mercenary, not so much. He goes, I don't know, Fears. Just Google it. Well, no shit. Apparently, though, I hunted and hunted and hunted and hunted and hunted on Google. There's nothing on Google that can show you how to fix Compressor. I swear, I looked. I checked. I spent 4 hours before I took it to the Geek Squad. And if you guys don't believe me, go on Google and write in. I wrote in everything. How do you fix Compressor? Problems with Compressor. Like everything. I wrote in, how do you get rid of glitches, in Compressor? I wrote every single thing. Not one thing came up. Not one thing. Not one thing. And you know what, Pixel? It had nothing to do with clearing off space. When I took it to the Geek Squad, they were like, oh, you have plenty of space. They said, space is not the issue. I went, really? I'm like, I edit a lot. And I'm like, I'm always like saving stuff to my desktop. And I said, you sure it's not like a space problem? They said, absolutely not. They said, you have plenty of space. So I appreciate you helping me out, Pixel. It was not that. It took them an hour to fix it. I had to pay $280 for them to fix it, you worthless fucks. Well, they're not worthless fucks, but $280 fucking dollars. Mind-numbing. Anyway, this is what happened. So, had nothing to do with space, right? So, I searched on the internet. I said, you know what? I said, Fears, even though you're not tech savvy, I said, my dad always taught me, try to figure it out yourself before you ask people's help or take it to the Geek Squad or whatever. So I was trying to do what my dad taught me, because my dad was always self-sufficient. Hopefully I said that right. Hopefully I pronounced it right. The worst case scenario would be if my dad couldn't figure it out, then he would go ask someone. But my dad, my dad would always try and fix himself. So I said, all right. I said, I'm going to lead by my dad's example. That's why I was on the internet for 4 hours. I mean, I was searching for 4 hours. Finally, the fierce patience kicked in, or lack of fierce patience kicked in. And I was like, all right, I'm pissed off. I'm done. Because I had to be at work at like 2:30. Because I had already came home from my second job. And I was supposed to be sleeping. I was supposed to be getting some sleepy time. And we all know that Fears needs his sleep. If I don't get my sleep, you guys have seen me at my highest and at my lowest. If I don't get my sleep, I'm cranky. I'm irritable. I'm not the most pleasant person to be around. and Fears turns into hardcore asshole mode if I don't have my coffee and I don't have my sleep. Most people are like that. So I spent 4 hours. But Pixel, here's the kicker. Here, you want to hear something even more hilarious? Had nothing to do. I had plenty of space on my laptop. So I finally gave up. Went to sleep. Went to work. The next day, like early in the morning, like I brought my laptop, put it in my car, and as soon as I got off of work, right to the Geek Squad, dropped it off. And they said at the earliest, you'll probably get your laptop back like Thursday night, which I did, because now it's getting into the night. They said, or Friday. That's the earliest. And I said, oh yeah? I said, well, latest? And they said the latest you'll get it back is like Saturday or Sunday. And I need it for Saturday or Sunday because Fears has planned something very fun to do on my weekend, because now we're working 6 days a week at FedEx during peak season. And I'll get into that in just a second. Peak season, work's been going good, but it is insane. But anyway, let's tackle this problem. So I finally gave up, and I was like, well, I've tried to figure this out for 4 hours. I can't figure it out. So I said, all right, I'll go to sleep. So I go to sleep. No, I'm good for 10 stories. I'm good. Fears is not mad anymore because my computer's fixed. I love technology. I just hate it when it doesn't work. And it was over the stupidest, littlest thing. The tiniest little problem. So bear with me, Pixel. Bear with me, everybody. So I go to sleep, go to work, drop it off. All of a sudden, they ran diagnostics. They did all that. The guy called me about 2 hours ago because I just got home from getting my laptop. And he's like, Mr. Fears. And I said, yes. And I said, please tell me you have good news. He's like, oh, I have tremendous news. And he goes, you're going to laugh. He goes, it was a tiny little thing. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. And I was like, how little? He goes, oh, the tiniest little thing. And I said, can I ask a question? And he goes, yeah. I said, did it have anything to do with like too much space? I said, because sometimes I forget to delete stuff off my desktop or delete old files. And then I said, I had this problem like a year ago where I had to take it and you guys had to hunt through and get rid of all these caches and old pictures and old video. And he goes, no. He goes, you're good. And he goes, you've been doing a great job. And he goes, you have tons of space. He goes, space was not an issue. So Pixel, I didn't say it out loud, but in my mind I went, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, awesome. So I said, what was the problem? He goes, it was Compressor. It was the actual file. He goes, over time, if you use programs long enough, he goes, computers have glitches. Programs have glitches. And I went, okay. And he goes, I don't know exactly what file. He goes, but when you were trying to compress your video, he goes, so at first I thought, oh, I've got some corrupted footage that I was trying to edit. Like the footage had got, he goes, no. He goes, your footage was fine. He goes, it had nothing to do with the footage that you were editing. And I went, okay, that's good. I said, because when this is fixed, I'm going to use the same footage and work on the project that I was trying to edit. And he goes, nope. He goes, your footage was fine. He goes, inside Compressor, there's this, he said there's this feature to share whatever project you're working on. He goes, let's say you have 2-3 computers in the house and you wanted to share your video that you compressed to another computer in your house. He goes, you have that option. And he goes, for some reason, that little part of the program in Compressor got corrupted. He goes, how? I don't know. He goes, it's like, computer programs are like a deck of cards. One little thing gets messed up, the whole fucking thing doesn't work. He goes, that's why whenever you were compressing, he goes, that's why that little fucking icon kept popping up saying unable to compress. And I was like, so I started laughing. He goes, yeah, it's very laughable. And I was like, isn't it the craziest things, like one tiny little thing and the whole thing's fucked up? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, listen, and the guy that I was working with, Pixel, at Geek Squad, very nice guy. And he goes, I have a YouTube channel too. He goes, I have tons of problems sometimes with Compressor. And he goes, Compressor's got a mind of its own. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He goes, last year, he goes, I had to bring up my compressor to the fucking Geek Squad. He goes, but I get it for free since I work for Geek Squad. And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, programs, like fuck up sometimes. And he goes, mine fucked up like a year or two ago. So it was just a mind fuck. So I said, can you show me what file got corrupted? And he goes, well, I already took care of it. He goes, I got rid of the corrupted file. He goes, but then he goes, because I got rid of that corrupted file, he goes, just to be on the safe side, he goes, I uninstalled Compressor, reinstalled it for you, and then I gave him my Fears Man logo. And he goes, I tested it. He goes, I took your little Fears Man logo, made a little video out of that Fears Man logo, compressed it. He goes, it's fine. And I was like, all right, well, that's good. I just wish I wouldn't have had to pay $280. And he goes, well, the reason why we did that is because, let's say, he goes, we had to wipe the whole computer. He goes, the reason why we had you, he goes, the diagnostic is for the 20 diagnostic. They need to bring their prices down. Oh, my God, it was so much. The diagnostic was $100. Then to fix it, that's another $100. Then they're like, let's say it's a big problem on your computer. He goes, well, we have to back up all your files, so you have to buy a hard drive. And this is the thing that drove me nuts. I was very nice in person, but in my mind, I was like, ugh. Oh, man, I was raging. Inside. I didn't show it on the outside. Like, outside, I was a perfect, gentleman. I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, whatever it takes to get fixed, yeah. I'm like, I'm not a tech-savvy guy, so just, fix it. And like, okay, cool, yeah. But in my mind, I'm like, $280 fucking dollars, Compressor, you son of a fucking bitch. So, anyway, they said the reason why we do that, he goes, have you ever heard of a time machine? And he explained it. I said, no. I said, but what is it? And he goes, let's say it was a big problem on your computer and we had to wipe the whole fucking computer. Well, to save all your programs and all your applications, he goes, we just have people buy a hard drive, put everything on there, and then we wipe the computer, and then we plug it back in and we launch it. And I said, okay, so that's cool. And I said, I already have a hard drive at home. And he goes, oh, great, you want to use that one? And he goes, then you won't have to pay it. So I said, yeah. I said, I'll just go home and get it real quick. And I'm about halfway out the door. And then he goes, oh, wait a minute. He goes, have you got footage or any files on that? I said, yeah, why? And he goes, you have to buy a new one. I said, why is that? And he said, he goes, you can use the one at home. He's like, but if you do, he goes, we have to erase all that fucking shit off your hard drive. And we start from scratch, and and he goes, it'll take your entire hard drive to back up all your files. And I was just like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. I'm like, Goose Fraba fears. Goose Fraba. That kind of shit I absolutely hate. Oh, my God. That little tedious bullshit. Oh, I cannot stand that crap. And I hate when technology doesn't work. But Fears has been trying to work on his patience. I really have. That's one of Fears' Achilles heel over the years. I'm like, have more patience. So I was pretty patient. I didn't cause a scene at Geek Squad. I just wish it didn't have to happen in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, $280. Well, with tax, it was $282. So it was almost $300 motherfucking dollars. Anyway. So it got fixed, and he said, actually, and so I'm talking to the guy, and he goes, you want to hear something funny? What I really said was, in my mind, I said, no, I don't want to hear something funny. I'm pissed off because I had to pay $280. I don't want to hear a joke. That's what I said in my mind. What I really said was, oh, yeah, tell me a joke. I'm like, yeah, please, tell me a joke. I'm like, I need to be, yeah, make me laugh. And he goes, it was so funny, man. He goes, it only took me an hour and a half to, figure out the problem. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's so funny. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, my Lord. You know what I'm saying? So he said, what actually took the longest, and I know the guy was just doing his job, but in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to hear a joke, buddy. I don't want to hear a joke. I've already had to pay $280. I said, for a tiny little problem. He goes, what really took the longest was running the diagnostic, backing up all your programs, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, right on. So, yeah. Oh, I tried Visions. Oh, I tried. Visions said, looks like you made a new friend. I mean, not really. I mean, he was a nice guy, but I mean, I wouldn't say he's a new friend, but he was a nice guy. Total professional at his job. Really good at his job, I must say. And then Vision said, did you try and use your Jedi bargaining tech? Oh, I did. I did. And they're like, sir, we don't set the prices. Best Buy did. I did try to talk him down. I was like, don't you think 100, for the assessment is a little steep, and don't you think to fix it 100? And he goes, well, and then he looked at me and said, well, I'm just curious. He goes, what would you charge? I'm like, definitely not 100. And he goes, well, yeah. He goes, what would you charge? I'm like, 50? I'm like, 50 I think is a pretty fair price. He goes, what, 50 for both? I said, yeah. I said 50 for both. 50 for the assessment, 50 to fix it. And he goes, oh, yeah, man. He goes, I've had to use Geek Squad myself. He goes, I wish it was that. I said, right? He goes, listen. He goes, you're preaching to the choir. He goes, I'm on your side. And I said, well, don't tell your managers. But I said, man, those prices are too high. But in the end, it was all right. It was a nice little adventure, I guess. Whatever, It's fixed. Now Fears can edit and do all the stuff that I needed to do this weekend because I got a big surprise. I'm going to another attraction. Someone told me about this attraction this weekend. If I can spare it. I just paid the rent today, and then I get paid Friday. So if I can spare the extra money, I'm going to do this big attraction this weekend. I can't tell you guys much about it, but I wanted to edit it this weekend. And now I have to re-edit the program. I have to re-edit the video that I was working on a day and a half ago. So, but all things aside, it wasn't too bad. It was just a mind fuck to go through it. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. Here, let me catch up on the comments. Yeah. And Jason says, why do you even use Compressor to begin with? Because, I mean, if you don't, the file is so huge, I like to compress my videos down, make them into, like a QuickTime movie. I've always used Compressor ever since, ever since film school. I'll tell you what. Let's see, what filming thing did they start us on? I think they started us editing on iMovie Maker. Everybody knows how to edit on iMovie Maker. It's like for idiots. Even if you don't know any video editing skills, anyone can use iMovie Maker. The one that I hated editing on, Jason will probably remember this. Randy will remember this. Avid editing. Avid editing sucks, or at least that's my thing. But they made you learn it, and they said, as soon as you master Avid editing, then we're gonna go to Final Cut. Well, I was like, yeah, screw that, because they had a well, back then, this is when you had the discs and you had to put it in your computer and download it. That just shows you how old Fears is. Look at these bags around my eyes. I'm getting so old. So I was like, I'm not gonna wait. I'm like, Final Cut's way better. So I remember the first 2 weeks of the Avid class. I was like, all right, let me figure out how to do this. I'll get my A for the class. So I went, all right, figure it out. Do. All right, good. I mastered Avid. And when we were about to start learning Final Cut, like a week or two later. So I was like, but you could go to the store, my school store, and buy anything you want. You could buy books on film and programs. And I was like, if they dropped the Final Cut, I wonder if I could buy it now. So I rolled into the store. I was like, hey, have you guys dropped the Final Cut? And she goes, we just did. We just got it in. And I was like, oh, great. So I want to buy it. So I bought it. And I'm fiddling around with it. So I kind of taught myself how to do Final Cut way before the entire class. And I'm sitting in the Final Cut class when we were about to start. And the teacher's all like, she looks over at my computer and she's like, how did you get that, John? She goes, we haven't even started. I said, I couldn't wait. I said, I've heard good things about Final Cut, and I just wanted to fiddle with it, and I have some footage that I want to, fiddle with it. I said, I hope it's okay. She goes, yeah, it's okay. She goes, I usually have people wait. But she's like, well, you're ahead of the game now. She goes, because I was going to make the entire class go to the store and buy it so we could start learning how to do it. And I was like, yeah, I said I couldn't wait. I said, I'm a go-getter. I said I'm an anxious guy. I wanted to fiddle around with the program. Hope it's cool. She's like, oh, yeah, it's totally cool. So, anyway. Let's see, what else? Pretend Story says, I think Mercenary Man was just trying to be helpful. Just didn't know the immediate answer. No offense, Pretend Stories, but no. No, he didn't. It was late. I asked for his help. Like, at least Visions and Pixel asked me a bunch of questions. They're really good friends. They were trying to help me out. Jason Cool helped me out. He was asking questions. Mercenary Man literally did this. I'll give you a play-by-play. I was like, hey, Mercenary Man, I'm like, can I ask you a question? And he's like, yeah, shoot, Fears. And so I told him the whole story about what happened. And I just picture him sitting like this, just bored, going, oh, I don't know, Fears, just Google it. And in my mind, I said, that's the first thing I fucking did. No shit, Sherlock. I'm not making fun of him. And then I said, I already did that, man. I said, I was just wondering if you had another suggestion. And then, of course, he didn't respond, so it is what it is. I'm not making fun of him. I think Mercenary Man's cool. I just wish he would have helped me out a little bit more. But it's fine, you know. It was late. I messaged him 11:45-ish. So thank you to Visions and Pixel and Jason Cool and Randy for all your help. But Pixel, I was with you. I thought it was going to be a space problem. And the guy was like, you have tons of space on your laptop. He goes, it's not a space problem. And I was like, okay. I'm like, that's good. So anyway. All right, let me scroll down here. I'm sorry if I missed anyone's comments. I hope everybody's having a good day. Like I said, I'm having a better day. Work has been going fantastic. Work's going good. I had one of my bosses come up to me at FedEx and they always check on everybody. So they were like, hey, Fears. They're like, how you doing? You liking it so far? I was like, and I was honest. I said, I'm enjoying it. I said, way better than my old security job. And I said, they didn't care. I said, the security company, they didn't care. I said, you guys do raffles. I said, if it's been a hard day, I said, you guys will buy us like sodas. And they said, well, yeah, they said, we really care. And we try to show that we care about our employees. I said, you guys are doing a fantastic job at that. I said, I'm really happy here. And I said, plus I said, I make more money at FedEx. I said it at the security posting. And my boss was like, yeah, I'm just curious. How much did you make at that security posting? I said, well, it depended on what site I was at. I said, there's two types of security officers. I said, there's a permanent security officer that stays at one spot, or there's a floater. And I started off as a permanent security officer. And then my boss, my old security boss, he was a dick. And he didn't start off as a dick, but he became a dick. Was like, hey, Fears, I think I'm going to move you around. I need you to put you here, then there, then here, then there. And I was like, I would prefer a permanent spot, buddy. And he's like, no, that's not going to happen. And I was like, well, I was at a permanent spot. And he's like, Fears, things change. I need you. And I'm just like, oh, this fucking guy. I'm like, all right. Anyway, so I told my new boss at FedEx, I was like, yeah, I'm like, depending on the site. I said, some sites paid $17. I said other sites paid $12, $11, $13. And then my boss at FedEx was like, oh, that's horrible. I said, it was. I said, it was horrible. I said, they treat security officers like crap. I said, you guys treat every employee the same. And I said, I really appreciate that. She goes, plus you make more money here, John. I said, I absolutely make more money at FedEx than I ever did at the security thing. And she goes, we just check in with all of our employees to make sure everything's going good. And she goes, how you dealing with, like the death of your dad? Because I told him about that. I said, hey, if some days I feel a little sad, I said the reason is because I said my dad's been passed away for 2 months. She goes, how you dealing with that? I was like, I'm like, some days are good, some days are bad. And she goes, is your mom still alive? I said, yeah, my mom's still alive, my brother's still alive. And I said, Grandma Fears is, doing all right. Grandma Fears, she's getting up there, though. 89 years old. So next year, she's going to be 90. So I I think it's cool that my grandma's that old because that means that she's done and seen it all, and I respect the hell out of the elderly, you know? Some people don't. I respect the elderly because they've been there, they've done that, they know a bunch of stuff. They're like, hey, I was born in 1920, and now I'm, 92 years old or whatever, So I'm like, if I make it to 92, right on, Like I was watching, I think one time, like, what show was it? It was either on Ellen DeGeneres or Oprah or something. Some lady came on and she was 106 years old or 105 or something, and I was like, that's a long time to live. I'm like, that is an incredibly long time. Anyway, so I think it's cool that my FedEx job, they always check in. She goes, I'm really sorry about your loss. I said, I appreciate it. Now, I have a couple of bosses at FedEx. I've got two male bosses and then one female boss. But then there's other big bosses over them. But the area that I work in, there's two male bosses and one female. So the female boss, she's the sweetest, nicest lady ever. She is so sweet. She's so nice. So nice. And she's like, she goes, I'm glad. She goes, you just got to be strong. She goes, you seem like a great guy, John. I was like, oh, thanks. I appreciate that. And she goes, just stay busy. I said, that's what everyone's been telling me. I said, I've been staying busy. She goes, do you go to church? Are you religious? I went, oh, yes. I said, me and the Lord, I said, we're just like this. I said, we have an interesting relationship. I said, me and the Lord. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, some days I love him and other days I question him. She goes, like what? And I said, I hate that at some point I have to die. Everyone else has to die at some point. And she goes, that's one of the toughest things about life. I said, it's really unfair. And she goes, yeah, but she goes, let me ask you a question, John. If you could live forever, would you? I said, as long as my friends and my family got to live forever, I said, I would want to live forever. I said, if I lived forever and all my friends and family passed away, then I would not want to live forever. I would want to, die too, So I said, it's really hard. And she's like, so what have you been doing to stay busy? I said, working, work. Church. I said, I edit videos. I didn't tell her that I had a YouTube channel. I don't like to mix business with pleasure. I said, I edit videos. And she's like, oh, that's cool. She's like, have you always had a interest? I said, I've always had an interest in photography, like taking photos, editing, filming, acting. Randy, I actually gave you a plug at work. I said, me and my friend actually make a cartoon. She goes, oh, you do voice acting? I said, yep. And she goes, oh, that's really cool. She goes, what do you voice? I said, anything that my friend needs. I said, and then I portray a superhero in my cartoon. I said, so we work on 2 cartoons. She goes, well, just give me an example. She's like, what? Like I said, I play this one guy called Cameo Kid. And I said, he's like 16, 17 years old. And I said, he's a sidekick to Cameo Man, my friend's superhero. I said, then I play my superhero. And she's like, oh, that's cool. So I think it's cool that they go around and check on everybody, at work. So she's like, I just want to let you know, John, you're doing a great job. She goes, you never complain. She goes, you're always here on time. I said, I know one time I was late because of like car problems. She goes, yeah, but she goes, I mean, for the most part, you're always on time. She goes, you always say hello to everybody. You're always cheerful. You're always a nice guy. I said, because I want to be a team player. And I said, I don't want to be a dick to my fellow employees. I said, harmony. If you work in harmony, it's a lot better at work, So, yeah. All right, let me get to the comments. Let's see here. But yeah, Visions. I tried the Jedi Mind bargaining tactics. I think they only work at conventions, But if they set the prices, which Best Buy does, because Best Buy's, Geek Squad's at Best Buy. The guy, I love the guy's expression. So I'm like, what about 50, 60? And he went, oh, no. I went, not at all? And he's like, there is no negotiation. I said, we have set prices. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right. You know? I'm like, all right. So, yeah. Failed miserably on that Visions. But I'm glad everything's fixed and everything's cool. So, yeah. Let's see. Vision says, you know what, Fears? At the end of the day, I will send you a consultational. I can't even say it. Consultation. God, I need to work on. I know how to read. I promise. I need to. Sometimes I have a hard time pronouncing certain stuff. I apologize. I know I'm not an idiot. I know how to read. I will send you a consultation bill tonight. You're welcome. I love you, buddy, but that's never going to happen. I love you. Fears is not paying a bill for... come on, man. That's what friends are. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Come on, Visions. Consultation, my fucking ass. That's right. By the way, Visions, I haven't bought it yet. But shh, mum's the word. I cannot wait. Well, I don't want to say what I want to buy because then it'll ruin it for the Christmas unboxing. But there's been something that I've wanted to buy off of your website for quite a long time. Oh, by the way, Visions, I forgot to ask. Randy wanted me to ask you this. I don't know if it's a possibility. I don't know if it's... You don't have to do it this week, but Randall wanted me to pose this question to you. I almost forgot. Me and Randall, I said, hey, Randall, I said, at some point, I said, you know those Fears vlog stickers that Visions made? And Randy was like, yeah, what about them? I said, dude, they came out so good. And then Randy, refresh my memory. You said something like, well, Fears, he used my my drawing of Fears Man like this, like on the mug. I said, I know. I said, Visions picked a good picture of Fears Man, put it on the fucking mug. I said, at some point, I would love to have Fears Man stickers and a Fears Vlogs mug. I said, all in good time. I said, I don't want to be greedy. And I said, Randall, I said, at some point, I said, it'd be cool. And he goes, what, Fears? I said, well, I've already got the Fears Vlog sticker. I said, at some point, I'd love Fears Man stickers. But I said, Randall, at some point, do you think Visions would ever make a Randall sticker? Or like a Cameo Man 2021 sticker? Or the May of Magic? And Randy's like, Fears, if you want me to draw something for that sticker, he goes, and then, I could like draw up something and then give the picture to Visions and he could put them on there. I was like, well, I said, Randall, I'm not Visions. I said, it's not my business. I said, it's not my website. I said, it's exhumvisions.com. I said, it's not fears.com. It's exhumvisions.com. So I said, let me ask him. And I said, we'll see. I said, because Randy will confirm this. Visions, I told Randy, I said, Visions is a very busy guy, just like Fears. I said, he's got his own life. He's got Mrs. Visions, I said, he's got Mrs. Visions. He's got his business, He's got his crazy friend that's into gimp shit, Weird guy, but a funny guy. So, Visions, when I come to visit you, we will not be hanging out with Twinkle Toes. Even though Twinkle Toes is fucking hilarious. Like, he was laying on his belly, and his little fucking, like, feet were, like, flapping back and forth. I was losing my shit. I was on the floor fucking dying over here. I'm like, this fucking guy's got a black mask on, and he's like, check out my Twinkle Toes. I used that little piece of footage in one of the Exhumed Visions unboxing. I fucking lost my mind. It was fucking great. I was losing my shit. But the Twinkle Toes guy, I'll be honest, he kind of freaked me out. Just a little bit. But he's fucking hilarious. So, that was a question I wanted to pose to you, Visions. Randy was like, hey, Fears, do me a favor, ask Visions. I was like, we'll see. I said, Randy, Visions takes requests. I said, he doesn't mind making money. I said, you write him on I said, he's got his email right there on the website. Exhumed Visions takes requests, guys. All you have to do, go to his website, post an email and say, hey, Visions, I'm such and such. I would love a mug, but on a mug, can you put this little fucking, like, logo, on this fucking mug? He can do whatever. He can put it on stickers. He can put it on t-shirts. Visions takes requests. He's not going to say no, to money, So, Randy, if you really wanted if you really wanted a Cameo Man sticker, I'm sure if you made a request and you paid for it, I'm sure Visions would hook you up, you know? But sometimes Visions is cool. Like, he hooked me up with the Fears vlog sticker, and I was like, dude, you are the fucking man. Fears loves you. Fears cares about you. All right. So anyway, Cameo Man says, Fears, you gotta realize, Fears, it's not Mercenary Man's job to do tech support. That's true, Randall. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. Very, very, very true, Randall. Very true. That's why I really wasn't mad at Mercenary Man. I just wish he could have provided a little bit more. But Visions was a great help. Jason was a good help. You were a good help, Randy. Pixel, Visions, all you guys. So I appreciate all your guys' help. In the end though, it wasn't what me and Pixel thought it was. Pixel, I could have sworn it was a memory problem. And Pixel was pretty sure too. But the guy at the Geek Squad, he went, no. He's like, memory has nothing to do with it. He goes, you have tons of space. And I went, all right, well, that's good. So, yeah. Anyway. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so Cameo Man says, can I draw a sticker for my channel? There you are. Well, all right. Cameo Man says, I would like Visions to make a few Cameo Man stickers. I would make them super detailed. There you are. Oh, there you go, Randy. So Visions said, oh, you were talking to me. Yeah, I'd make you some, Randy. See, Randy? Ask and you shall receive. Because I'm telling you, Visions is a cool guy. Visions is one of my personal buddies. He's a cool motherfucker. Just like Pixel. Just like, Cameo Man. Just like Richie. Visions will hook you up, Randy. All you gotta do, place an order. Be like, yo, Visions, I'm gonna draw something. This is exactly what I want. Put this image, boom, on a sticker. Bam, there you go. And Randy, I already know what the picture's gonna be. It's gonna be you having Amy Jo Johnson bent over, and then you're all like, like that. That would make a great Cameo Man sticker. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know that Randall has a big crush. Well, let's just put it out there. I mean, Fears, who doesn't like Kimberly, off of Power Rangers? But I'll be honest, like, everyone loved Kimberly. Trini was pretty fucking hot. Trini was pretty hot, too. Fears would have totally smashed Trini or Kimberly, or both. Or, hey, Trini and Kimberly in the same room. Bada bing, bada boom. There it is. There it is. Let's see. Cameo Man says, I'll even send it in his preferred format. There you are. There you are. Well, Randall, he's going to hook you up with some Randy stickers. Randy, the only request is let's say Visions makes you the Randy Cameo Man sticker. I mean, the Randy channel sticker. If you can hook me up with one sticker, Randall, that's the Randy sticker. I want to put a Randy sticker on the coffee mug. Because I'm running out of room. I am running out of room. I've still got some room left. The newest Visions, I forgot to tell you, the newest stickers I put on the coffee mug, when I was at that last convention, the last convention that I just edited, I remember like when the guy, this hilarious guy at this convention, he's like, oh yeah, man, Fears, these are legit. He goes, these are legit, like creme de la creme stickers. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, they're just stickers. No, Fears, you have no idea. He goes, these are the fucking stickers. I know what this guy was trying to do. I'm like, no, you're not going to pull a fast one on the master negotiator, buddy. I'm like, that shit's not going to happen. No, Fears. Oh, man, these fucking stickers, man. He goes, these are definitely worth $4. I was like, you're fucking nuts. I'm like, no. I'm like, they're worth 50 cents to $1. And he's like, all right, Fears. He's like, for you, he's like, as long as you, like, give me a little plug on your channel. He goes, I'll sell them to you, for $1. He goes, and you're getting 2 Michael Myers stickers, so like, $2. And I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, I'll give you a plug, buddy. I said, but 50 cents for each. So 50 plus 50, that's $1. So $1 for 2. Because Fears always has to get that deal. And he went, all right, Fears. He goes, you're a cool guy. And he goes, man, Visions, I must say, I'm not making this up. he looked at me and said, Fears, he goes, you're ruthless when it comes to negotiating. He goes, you're really good. I said, you know why I'm so good at it? And he goes, no, why? He goes, because my grandfather, Grandpa Fears, and I said, my dad, John Fears, because we have the same name. We just have different middle names. I said, they were the master. I said, they were even 10 times better than me. And I said, I'm pretty good. And he goes, and I loved what he said, Visions. He goes, man, I would be afraid to be in the same room with your grandpa then, Fears. He goes, if you're this good of a negotiator, he goes, I'd hate to see how you like your grandfather didn't go. I said, oh man, I said, my grandfather was ruthless with negotiations. I said, my grandfather got great deals. And I've gotten some pretty good deals in my negotiation career, but my grandpa, he would get stuff for free sometimes. He would get stuff, they would charge him $100 for something, and my grandfather was like, no. And they're like, what are you on about? He's like, I'm thinking $25. And they're like, no, $100. He's like, no, 25. And then, somehow he'd, change their minds. And he's like, you know what, you're right, $25. And I remember I was, 5 or 6, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, he did it. I'm like, that's fucking cool. So, there we are. It just didn't happen at Best Buy because of their bullshit. Oh, yeah, we set the prices, Fears. I was like, no, I set the prices. And they were like, no, fuck you. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Anyway. See, there you go. Randy, you're already getting people that wants to buy it. Pretend Story says, I would buy some Randy stickers. Hell, I would buy some Randy stickers. Why? Because I support my friends. That's why I'm always plugging Pixel stuff. That's why I'm always plugging. I know Visions doesn't like me to do it. Visions is kind of like a quiet guy, behind the scenes. So, Visions, I only plug your business because I care about you. I love you, buddy. You're a good friend. You're a good guy. And why wouldn't I help out my friend's business or my friend's YouTube channel? Because that's just, Fears is a stand-up guy too. I help out where I can. Speaking of that, I found out that the Thanksgiving community food drive that I donated to, lots and lots of it. It was for 14 or 15 families that are going through rough times. And not only did every family have a Thanksgiving dinner, but because so many people donated, they actually have enough for next year's Thanksgiving. That's how much people. I donated 2 bags. If you guys watch the vlog, 2 bags full of food to the brim. So, and I said, well, and I asked the person at the front leasing office in my apartment. I said, how many people donated, if you don't mind me asking? She goes, well over 250 people. I said, that's awesome. I said, I wish we had more people like that in the world. I said, that's awesome. She goes, we got a Christmas drive coming up. She goes, for kids that come from poor families or homeless families that have children. They said they won't get a present. I said, that's bullshit. I said, every kid should get a present on Christmas. So I'm going to be donating not just 1 gift, but 2 gifts. So I'm going to be donating a present for a little boy, and then I'm going to donate a present for a little girl. So I'm thinking for the girl, traditional Barbie. And for the guy, if I can find some Ghostbuster shit, oh, I will. Because you have to start them young. Like if I have a son, I'll be like, look, you will love Ghostbusters. You will watch Ghostbusters with your father, and that's we have to do that. If I can't find any Ghostbuster toys, Legos. Fears was a big Lego guy when I was a kid. Legos, I would sit there for hours and build these little Lego forts and shit, and then I would take my remote control car and smash. I would drive over the fucking Lego fort. And I would put a ninja. This is how hilarious Fears was as a kid. I would put a Ninja Turtle on the remote control car, and I'd be like, "Die, you son of a bitch!" And I would do the remote control car with of course, Michelangelo, because he's the best Ninja Turtle ever, on the remote control, and he was the master, evil fucking guy, and he would drive through the Lego fucking fort, just barricade through the fucking wall. Good times. Oh yeah. Sometimes I wish those youthful years can come back. If Fears could be a kid again, I definitely would. I think anyone would. If you could go back and be youthful again, because these bags are only getting worse. Look at all these goddamn wrinkles. Wrinkles! So bad. So bad. Oh, yeah, by the way, new shirt. Naughty, nice, whatevs. $6 at Walmart. There you are. There you are. All right. So Vision says, sure, you can post it in your Discord or you can send me a message on the website. There you go, Randall. Hop to it. I cannot wait. Randall, make sure you get those stickers done before Christmas. Because whenever you mail me your Christmas gift, because I'm going to wrap your Christmas gift to me, throw a Randy sticker in there so then I can debut it on the Christmas vlog, buddy. There you are. There you are. There it is. There it is. Cameo Man says, okay, cool. Randy, I'm actually really excited to see what Randy comes up for a Randall sticker, a Cameo Man. Now, Randall, are you going to do a Cameo Man 2021 sticker and a Mayor of Magic sticker, or are you just going to stick with one? Let me know, because if Fears can get two channel stickers, that would be awesome. Because everyone loved the Fears vlog stickers. I cannot wait to see what Randy comes up with for a Cameo Man sticker. Oh, shit. It's going to be good. And both of them, if I get both channels, both of them, even though I don't have a lot of room left on the coffee pot, Randall, they will go on the coffee pot. If I have to rip off an old sticker and put a new one on there, listen, you are my friend. I love you, buddy. You're going on the fucking coffee pot. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going on there. You are going on there. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. I need to scroll down. Let's see. Yo! James, what's going on? He says, what's up, Fears? You the man. Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. You're the man, too. James is an old high school buddy. We were on the wrestling team together. James, do you remember? Okay, remember this? I think I've told this story on camera. James, do you remember when we were at a wrestling meet and Fears had to take a piss? And this school, we went to some school, and for some reason, I could not find the bathroom. I was hunting for a bathroom. And when you gotta go, you gotta go. Remember this, James? Remember I told you and my buddy Eric, and then I told the coaches, and everyone thought it was hilarious? Hell, I thought it was hilarious. I could not find the bathroom, guys. So I was like, I have to piss. I'm like, and if I don't find a bathroom soon, I'm just going to run outside and just, piss in the grass or behind a car or something. I'm like, I have to piss. Couldn't find the fucking bathroom, right? So I was like, I have to piss. So I walked by this door and it says lost and found. I was like, maybe I can piss in a trash can, something. All I could find was a shoe in the lost and found. I said, I have to piss. So I put the shoe down on the ground, zip my little, drop my drawers, piss in the shoe. And I was like, well, and I filled that shoe up to the brim with piss. And so I'm like, well, what do I do now? I'm like, I can't just leave it, And so I was looking to throw it away in a trash can. So there was a window. So I opened the window, and I just poured the piss out of the shoe, and it hit the ground. And then I just put the shoe back and lost and found. When you gotta go, you gotta go. So if I haven't told that story, then now you guys can just laugh at that story. But I had to piss. Anyway. Good to see you, James. James, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving with you and your family. Tell your family I said hi, buddy. James says, oh, I remember that story, Fears. I think everybody remembers that story. I remember Eric was fucking losing it. I remember Eric looked at me and he goes, Fears, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, I wish I was, buddy. He goes, Fears, that's why I love you, buddy. He goes, you are fucking hilarious. He goes, you're telling me you couldn't find a bathroom? I said, Eric, I walked around for 15 minutes. I said, I couldn't find the bathroom. He goes, Fears, it's right over there. I went, I didn't see it. I'm like, I had to piss. And he's like, well, Fears, he goes, and this is the greatest thing about Eric, James, is he goes, well, Fears, if I'm being honest, he goes, I probably would have done the same thing. He goes, because when you got to go, you got to go. He goes, me being your best friend, he goes, you're fucking hilarious. And I went, well, I'm like, yeah, tell me something I don't know, buddy. And he's like, Fears, he goes, how do you get yourself in these situations? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I was just trying to do something simple, go into a bathroom, take a piss, and then get back to the wrestling match. By the way, I won the wrestling match. Remember, James? Remember they had that, there was only one guy left. And I wrestled like sometimes I would wrestle 150, 160. The lowest I ever wrestled was 140. But there was no 140 on their team. So they had some guy come up and he's like, oh, I'll wrestle him. This guy was 160 pounds. So back in the day, Fears was 140. I was short and skinny. Not so much. So, and I still took that fucker down. That's right. That's right. James says, hope your Thanksgiving was good. Yeah, it was pretty good. I talked with my mom for about an hour. I talked with my grandma for about an hour. I didn't cook any food. I reheated some food, ate it. Did I do a stream that day? I don't remember if I did or not. I think I did a stream. And then I went to sleep, and then I went to my FedEx job. So, by the way, James, the FedEx job is going spectacular, buddy. I'm really enjoying it. I'll admit, it's hard work. You definitely work for your money there. There's no slacking off. There's no sitting around. Not like the old security job where Fierce would like lean back, in the chair and go, all right, it's time to take a nap, Nah, none of that anymore. But I would rather stay busy all day because sometimes those security shifts, they would take forever to get over it. And I kept looking at my watch and I'm like, hurry it up. I want to get out of here. So if you're constantly busy at work, then the time just flies by. So yeah. Fears, what is your favorite takedown? Oh, okay. So I can't remember what the name of it is, Triple, but you start off. So the guy's in front of you. You're right here. I would rush in and I would grab his shoulder, and then you put your arm around his shoulder and you lock his head right here. You lock his head right here, and you basically flip him over your back, and he lands on his back, and then you jump on top of him, and then you pin his shoulders to the mat. It's quick. It's easy. Fears pinned a bunch of guys like that. So you go in, he grabs your shoulders, you grab his shoulders, and then I would just maneuver my hand around his neck, get his head right fuck here, and go, hey, fuck you, and launch him over my shoulder, and he would flip over my shoulder, land on the back, and then I would just I would lock his head again, and then you have to have his shoulders pinned to the mat, and I would just pin his shoulders down. Boom. That was one of my favorite moves. If that didn't work, then I did the crackdown. James, remember that? Remember the crackdown? You run in, and you grab either his left leg or his right leg, and you just kind of yank it and kind of crack him down, and then you pin him. So those are my two go-to moves. And James, remember, I almost went to state. I remember it was the semifinals, and I wrestled against, man, this guy was powerful. Really nice guy, though. We were chatting before the match, and he was like, hey, what school do you go to? And I was like, oh, I go to West. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I go to, I think he was from North or South high school. And I said, what's your record? He goes, oh, man, if I beat you, I'm going to go to state. And I said, well, if I beat you, I'm going to go to state. And so he's like, hey, man, he goes, whether we win or lose, he goes, good sportsmanship. I went, oh, yeah. I said, trust me. I said, if you win, congratulations. If I win, it is what it is. I said, no hate. And he was like, oh, he's like, well, sometimes people don't have good sportsmanship, man. I said, I was raised, my dad taught me about sportsmanship ever since I was 4 or 5 years old. I said, you always have good sportsmanship. So we do it. James, remember, I almost beat the guy. This guy was so strong. His muscles were out to here. I'm screaming. I'm like, come on. And I'm trying to shove his shoulders down. And I got him all the way down. And the guy was about to do 1, 2, 3, you're out. And then all of a sudden the guy just pushed back and flipped me back over, landed, and then he just put all of his weight on me. And by the time I tried to get up, it was too late. I was like, fuck. So I was that close to winning state. I'm sorry, I was that close to going to state. But it is what it is. I stood up, I shook his hand, I said, hey man, I said, nice move. And he was like, yeah. He goes, you almost had me. I was like, dude, you are a strong guy. And he's like, yeah, I work out twice a day. And I was like, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it shows. So yeah. So anyway. James says, once you make being a delivery driver, that's where the real money is. I cannot wait to be a delivery driver, James. I'm trying to get I'm trying to get full time there. I work 2 jobs, so every day they said, "Oh, Fears," they said, "it's easy to get full time here." They said work hard, put in your dues, and then they said always check. There's a bulletin board full of jobs, and he goes, "All you have to do is, he said, just pick out which full time job you want when they're available, go and apply." He goes, and then we'll get you in there. They said because we try to hire within the company before we pick anyone else off the street. And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." So I've been checking periodically the clipboard. So far, they haven't put any jobs up, but they said after peak season, they said, "Oh yeah," they said, "we'll definitely put up some full-time positions." So I'm definitely trying to get full-time, because then I can be like, "Hey, second job, bye-bye," because I'd rather just work one job, So that's the plan, my friend. And then plus, I'm still gonna go for my dreams to work in a like an airline job. I said, hey, if I don't make it in film or theater or whatever, I'd love to get a job doing something for an airline to get that free travel. Then the vlogs will be better. Or, well, they are good, but even better. So, yeah. So, that's the plan, buddy. I've just been working. I've been working hard, just staying busy, just doing the grind, Unfortunately, James, still no Mrs. Fears. I thought I had a Mrs. Fears, but then we all know how that turned out. I said some things I shouldn't have, and yeah, it was just bad. It was just bad. But I'm always on the lookout, buddy, so always on the lookout. I'm on some new dating sites, James, so hopefully in a year or two I can tell you good news and be like, hey, I found a Mrs. Fears. Right on. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing great. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, I think I'm gonna call it a night because I'm getting tired. I need to get some more sleepy time. Plus, we've been going. How long have we been going for? An hour. We've been going for an hour. So, unless you guys want to talk about anything else, I think Fears is gonna conk out for a few hours and get a shower and get something to eat. Maybe edit something because now I get my fucking computer back. All right. Well, Fears loves you guys. Fears cares about you guys. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope everything's doing good. James says my cousin is on and has been on Broadway. Maybe I'll put a good word in for you. Oh, man. I would appreciate that, James. Because Fears does miss acting. I do. I mean, I act in my YouTube videos, but I actually miss being on a stage. I have not done a play in years. Yeah, let's see, when was the last time I did a play? Let's see, I did the Wise Man thing in church when I was 5. Then we did Grease when I was 15 at church. Then we did It's Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry, we did that play It's Saturday before Grease, like when I was in middle school. Then I did all the plays in high school. I did MASH 4077, The Wizard of Oz, To Kill a Mockingbird, Romeo and Juliet. Oh God, what else? The Muffin Man. Rumors is another play. I played the butler. I think that's all of them. So the last time I did a play was high school, James. The last time I did a play was high school, and it was the very last play of the year. I think that's the very last one was, I want to say it was either Romeo and Juliet or MASH 4077. And I played the general guy, and I actually got to use my dad's military coat and his military hat. So I actually miss being on a stage, buddy. It's been a while since Fears has done a play, because I enjoy acting. I wouldn't say I'm the best actor in the world, but I do enjoy it. Being in a play is awesome. But now I've just transitioned from the stage to, the video screen. So there it is. So yeah. So, because whenever me and Randall do, cartoons and shit, I love voice acting. I voice act Fears, man. I voice the shit out of, Cameo Kid. Even though Cameo Kid is like, now he's like, well, in the cartoon, I said, Randall, I've been doing Cameo Kid for quite a while. I said, we should make him like 18, Anyway, Pixel says, "Is Romeo and Juliet a love story to you?" Of course, Pixel. You've never watched Romeo and Juliet? It is the romantic play. It's the romantic love story. I played one of the villains though, because it's much more cooler to play a villain. I mean, playing a hero is cool. It's all right. It's cool. But playing a villain is so much more badass, you know? That's why, like, you always see actors, like, on, like the DVDs, you know, the behind-the-scenes shit. They're like, oh, yeah, like they wanted me to play the superhero, but I was like, no, man, I want to play his villain. I want to play his arch nemesis, you know? Think about all the traditional villains in Hollywood. The Wicked Witch of the West, you know? Classic villain. Michael Myers. He doesn't say anything, but he's a badass villain. Jason, he literally in one scene grabbed like this hot slut out of a sleeping bag and threw her body up against a tree, killed her in 2 seconds. And then, like a badass, he just like looked down at her dead corpse, and then he just walked off into the woods, not saying anything. Was like, peace, deuce, motherfucker, I'm out. You know, one of the best kills ever in the Friday the 13th. He just grabs her and goes, gung, and just hits her against a tree. That's it. Let's see. They had cool guns in the. Oh yeah, I've seen that one too. Visions. I've seen because Leonardo DiCaprio was in that version. You know, he's a nice leading man. You know, Jack Dawson, Titanic. That movie is hilarious though, because you guys know what I'm about to say. There was enough room on the goddamn fucking board for him to, like, just move. Tell Rose to move over and just get on the fucking board. Plus, when I went to that Titanic museum, so they've got this iceberg, James. I put my hand on there. Fears lasted a good, I'd say 30 seconds to a minute. I made a Snapchat video about it, right, Visions? I put my hand on it. It starts numbing your hand within seconds. It was so cold. And I was like, Fears is going to last a minute. I wanted to last even more than a minute. When I pulled my hand off of it, it was so red. Right here, it was so red because it was so cold. By the way, if you guys are in Orlando, I highly suggest doing the Titanic Museum. So cool. It's a tragedy that all those people died. But the museum's really cool. Tons of artifacts from the Titanic is in there. Tons of old newspaper clippings. Tons of old pictures. Yeah. Yep. So yeah. James said, yeah, I saw the... Oh, that's right, James. I posted that on my Facebook. But wait and see when I post the whole vlog. Because I'm going to put that little piece of footage in the vlog. And I took a video of the whole iceberg, and the thing is fucking massive. The thing's huge. So yeah. Let's see. Vision says, with Leo last night, it was pretty insane. Right on. That's cool. Let's see. Pixel says, Romeo and Juliet is a 3-day relationship between a 13-year-old and a 17-year-old that causes 6 deaths. Very true. Very true. Pixel, I'm sure at one time you've read the story. Well, at least when I went to high school. Well, hang on, when did I read it? Did I read Romeo and Juliet in middle school or high school? I think it was high school. Yeah, because we did the play in high school. Everybody has read Romeo and Juliet. Then they show the movie version of Romeo and Juliet. Not the Leonardo DiCaprio one, the old one. I've seen the old one. I've seen the new version of it. It's a traditional, love story. I don't really agree with, their ages and stuff, because a 17-year-old dating a 13-year-old, that's like Matman shit. That is Matman shit beyond belief. Now, if it would have been like a 22-year-old dating a 20-year-old, that's fine. Anyway. So there it is. There it is. Let's see here. Pixel says, are you going to watch that Christmas horror movie called Christmas, Bloody Christmas? I haven't even heard of it, Pixel, but I have watched that movie, Black Christmas. That movie's great. At the end of the movie, like, the fucking killer's like, forever! And I fucking lost it. I don't know why the killer at the end says forever, and he's got, like, long-ass, like, greasy, like hardcore punk rock hair, like down to here. It's greasy as shit, and he's wearing some like robe or shit. And all of a sudden it zooms up on his face, and he's like, forever! And I lost my fucking mind. Oh god, I was puking. I was laughing so hard that oh man, it was so funny. So, because I've watched, now that happens in the remake. I've watched the old version. I've watched the 70s version of Black Christmas, or whatever the hell they made that movie. And the 70s version, it's hard to watch it because, like, it's so much, like, in the dark, the 70s version. So it's kind of hard to watch it, you know? There's not a lot of light in the 70s version. The remake, I don't remember when they made the remake of Black Christmas, but I watched that one. And in the remake, that's when the killer's like, forever! I remember me and Eric went to go see it in theaters. And Eric turned at me. I was already laughing to begin with, and then he went, hey, Fierce. And I said, what? He goes, hey, guess what? Good news. Whenever I say good news, sport, I get it from Eric. He's like, hey, Fierce, guess what? Good news, sport. And I was like, what? And he's like, forever. And he like did it. Oh, God, I was on. My popcorn went out of my hand. I was fucking bawling. I was fucking losing it. It was great. Have you seen the meme one? It's a Grinch horror movie. Really? Oh my lord. Oh, that sounds fucking hilarious. Unfortunately, Jason, I have not seen that, but I need to see that because that even sounds even more hilarious than Chopping Mall. And Visions told me about Chopping Mall. I finally watched it. And then Pixel told me to watch Night of the Comet. That was fucking great. Chopping Man was fucking great, so I'm going to have to research the meme one. So they basically take a Dr. Seuss, like, kid story and turn it into a horror movie. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Crazy. What's it called again? Let's see. The Mean One. Well, before I go to work tonight, I'm going to have to do a little research, and hopefully they've got the movie trailer on YouTube. I'm sure they do. They have a trailer for everything on that. I'll have to watch it. So, yeah. Trailer dropped the other day. It's out December 9th. Oh, okay. Well, I will watch it. I will watch the trailer before I go into work. And I will give you guys my analysis. I'm sure it's hilarious. I mean, the concept of it already is hilarious. Taking the laughable, goofy Grinch that has a change of heart and just turning him into a goddamn psychopath. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So I'll definitely check it out. Vision says, "Oh, it looks like Violent Night is in the theaters now. It looks like a good Christmas movie." Now I've seen that. I've seen the trailer for that. That looks hilarious. Visions, where like this family's just trying to have a nice, normal like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. All of a sudden, these robbers come in, and the guy that played Luigi in the live-action Mario movie, he comes in with this machine gun. He's like, "Time to steal Christmas, motherfucker!" Starts shooting a machine gun and like just destroying their Christmas tree. Then this little girl, like, I guess prays to Santa, or she has like a walkie-talkie, and she's like, "Oh, help, 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 Santa!" All of a sudden, Santa comes in and he's like, "You're on my fucking naughty list," and just starts beating the shit out of these fucking robbers. So I cannot wait to see that movie, Visions. It looked hilarious. By the way, Visions, I'm toying. I mean, I'm going to buy it eventually. I just don't know when. I'm toying with the notion of buying Chopping Mall for the Christmas unboxing video. But see, I've already told you guys, so it's kind of worthless to buy it. But I want to buy it anyway. At some point. I don't know when. It's Chopping Mall, without a doubt. I don't know if it's the best cheesy horror movie I've ever seen, Visions, but it's up there. I'd say the cheesiest one, you guys know exactly what I'm about to say, because I cannot get this out of my system. It's just such a great, hilarious, cheesy movie. Fucking Drainiac is by far the cheesiest, So far, nothing has topped Brainiac. And that fat guy with the fucking apple and shit makes no goddamn sense. And he's like, yeah, this is fucking peculiar. Takes a bite of the fucking apple and just walks off. And it was fucking over with. Me and Eric found it at Blockbuster, and he went, oh, Fears, you have to watch this. He goes, this will make you fucking lose your mind. I watch it, and I called Eric back, and I was like, you're right. I'm like, I did lose my fucking mind. It's hilarious. And he goes, oh, Fears, it's so bad. I'm like, oh, it's so bad, but it's so good because it's so bad. So there it is. Jason says he kills the little girl's parents. She comes back the town where the Grinch is, and it's a revenge story when she's older. Oh, this is getting even more hilarious as we go. Well, I cannot wait to check this out. Anyway, I think that's a good place to end it. Fears has to get something to eat. I have to take a shower. And now I have to re-edit the video that I was working on because Compressor decided to be a bitch and say, hey, Fears, guess what? I'm throwing up my middle finger and saying, fuck you. And I'm like, hey, Compressor, fuck you too. So I'm going to have to re-edit the project that I was working on. Thank God it wasn't Sleepaway Camp, right, Visions? Anyway. Fears loves you. Fears cares about you. Do not forget to check out FearsMan26 on YouTube. Check out FearsMan26 on the old TikTokage. Yes, I have a TikTok. We're so close to 9,000 followers. So we're getting there. So follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Fears Vlogs. Check out Cameo Man 2021. Check out The Mayor of Magic. Check out www.exhumvisions.com. He's a cool guy. His website's a cool guy. Buy some cool shit. I think the better question is why wouldn't you buy some cool shit? Subscribe to Pixel L Protocol. And Pixel, get on that fucking Pixel Protocol footage, buddy. I'm waiting for the next project. I want to see it before the 24th century. I love you, buddy. I have faith in you. I have faith that Pixel will put up some more content on Pixel Protocol. But I have been enjoying the wrestling content, buddy. I really have. All right, this is Fears. Bidding you guys a fond farewell and enjoy your night.